Hi everybody, Andy Bennis here with a quick update for you regarding the latest compensation plan summary chart. We just recently made some changes, and so I want to walk through with you how to look at it, how to explain it, and I also want to share with you a little simulation that's going to help you understand share price. That's an important part of that global override commission, right? It's all based on share price, and so I want to go through that with you as well. So let's start with the chart. Here's the latest version of the comp plan chart, and I want to highlight two things we did to change it. Both changes are inside the global override commission portion, okay, right here in the middle, and I want to show you. One, we went back to separating minimum and maximum as two different fields. So what you need to understand is when it comes to the global override commission, at every rank, there is a minimum and a maximum for that rank, okay? Now, I want to explain to you how it works because this is where some of the confusion early on was. People don't understand how the minimum and the maximum worked, or how does the global override actually get calculated. So we added this third column over here on the left of the global override commission, the part I just highlighted, is the calculation. This is a reminder on how the global override is actually calculated. And what you're doing every month when we finish a commission month, okay, as soon as the month is over and we know how much volume was generated in Disrupt as a company worldwide in every country that we're doing business, okay, where we have customers and distributors, we're going to figure out what the global volume was. We're going to figure out how much of that is being allocated to the global override commission, because remember, we're setting aside roughly, and it might vary month to month, but it's roughly 65% of the company's total worldwide sales, and we're setting that aside for the global override commission. Then we use that to calculate a share price, okay? Meaning for every piece of volume you generate, you're earning a certain amount, you're earning a share. All right. Now the share price could be anywhere from 15 cents to 35 cents to 55 cents. That's going to vary based on Disrupt sales worldwide. It's based on that and how many people that month qualified for commissions. Okay, so both of those numbers are going to change every month, right? How many people qualified for commissions? That number usually goes up, but it's certainly different than the month before, right? And the total worldwide sales of the company. That typically goes up every month, but it's a different number. So the share price is going to be a different number every month. But whatever that share price ends up being, you multiply your total qualified volume, that's your global volume, right? That's your total volume after you subject it to line max. Okay, these leg maximums, right? 40% that can come from any one leg for the first 4 ranks, then it's 35% that can come from any one leg, okay, from any one of your sales teams. So once you put that up against the line max, that's your QV, right? Your qualified volume. Well, all you do at the end of a month is we're taking your total qualified volume and we're multiplying it by a share price. That's how you get your global override commission. So here's the good news. Just like we mentioned in the presentation video, every single sale matters. Because take a look at Belay and Ascent, okay, over here on the left. To qualify for Belay, you need a minimum of 1,250 in volume. So let's say you finished the month at 1,250. You're just barely qualified for Belay, all right? But somebody else generated 2,300 in volume. They're almost to Ascent, but not quite, right? So they're at 2,300. Well, they certainly earned more than the person who generated 1,250, but how do we do that? Well, one person is taking 1,250 times the share price. The other person is taking 2,300 times the share price. So the more volume you earn, the higher your global override commission. That's how it works. So every increment, a single QV, one QV, 10 QV, right, makes a difference in your global override commission, because you're simply multiplying by the share price. Then all we do is based on the rank you're at, okay, Ascent or whatever, there is a minimum that you're ever going to earn. Okay, so 250 for an Ascent, 250 would be the minimum they're ever going to earn no matter what the share price is. Okay, minimum of 250, maximum of 1,500. Okay, earnable at that rank. So there's still an incentive to rank up, right? You don't want to be stuck, with a maximum here. You want to crank up the maximum earnings as your volume goes up. Okay? So that's what the minimum means. That's what the cap means. But your calculation is the most important part. It's your qualified volume times the share price. So let's talk about share price. You're saying, well, what does that mean? You're multiplying volume times the share price. Well, we've put together a little simulation. And we want you to see what happens at 4 different share prices. Okay, this yellow line, kind of gold line here, that is 16 cents per share. And that happens to be the exact number that came through for actually all of our ranks, tier 1 and tier 2. We didn't have any tier 3 ranks yet in our first month in business, but I'm sure we'll get there very quickly. But 16 cents was the share price for June of 2015, right? Our first month in business ever. And that was 16 cents. Now, in the future months, as the share price goes up, again, why is that going to go up? Because Disrupt's global worldwide sales are going to go up, right? The more you guys sell, you're going to sell products to customers, and you're going to sell products, to distributors, and they're going to buy their own stuff, and they're going to sell their own stuff. So sales are going to go up, all right? And so in general, as the sales go up, most of the time, you're going to have a higher share price because the sales are going to go up probably faster than the number of qualified distributors goes up, right? Because not everybody's going to be a qualified distributor. Some people are just going to be customers. Some people are going to be distributors that generate volume, but they don't qualify for commissions. Well, every sale that happens with somebody that doesn't qualify for commissions, that's more for that top number, the global, total global volume, global sales for Disrupt Worldwide. All right, so that share price is going to start creeping up. The only way for the share price to creep down is if every single distributor had a team that was a perfect 5x5 build. At every level all the way down was a perfect build, meaning every single person on the sales team qualified for commissions. And so we had to pay out every single cent of eligible commissions to every single human being in the sales team. You and I both know that's never going to happen. There's no such thing as a perfect build on a sales team. That's why we're very, very, very confident, and it's statistically almost impossible for the share price to drop low like that, okay? That's where you'd get like super low share prices if that happened, because there'd be nothing left over to drive that share price up. Okay, enough on that. If you've got more detailed questions on that, contact us and we can go into detail with you. If some of you are into statistics and finance and you want to know how that all works, great. But just know, more sales to customers and sales and purchases by customers that don't qualify for commissions means a higher share price. So this was June of 2015, but let's say next month, in the coming months, we'll change these numbers so that you see what the real numbers are. But at 25 cents a share, you see these lines going up. What these nice straight line means is that as your sales volume goes up, that's these numbers down here at the bottom, as these sales numbers go up, okay, as the volume goes up, so does the commission. So the commission, and then that's the dollar amount here on the left, the commissions have a nice healthy increase. As volume goes up, commissions go up, nice and smooth. All right? And what starts to happen is for the same amount of volume, as the share price goes up, the payout goes up. Because let's pick 3,000 as an example, if I point my arrow here. At 16 cents a share, when you generate 3,000 in volume, that's going to be worth $480. Right? Then, if the share price jumps up to 25 cents a share, all of a sudden, that commission goes from 480, it jumps all the way up to 750. It almost doubles with just a 9-cent increase in the share price. And if you're trying to figure out why, how can the same volume mean 2 different commissions? Remember, you guys are benefiting from the growth of the total company's sales. This is the kind of benefit that's usually only reserved for like the top 0.1% of income earners in any company, right? It's their global override, and it's reserved because basically what you're doing is profit sharing. And it's profit sharing that's usually reserved only for people at the very tip top of the comp plan, right? Well, not here. Disrupt's comp plan rewards everybody in the company for the growth of the whole company. So let's say Japan goes crazy. Let's suppose Peru goes crazy, right? Latin America goes off the chart. USA, it doesn't matter where the growth comes from. Everybody benefits because that share price is going to creep up for everybody. So we're basically profit sharing with everyone, if that makes sense. All right. And then if the share price jumps to 35 cents a share, let's go to 3,000 again. Now you've gone from 480 to 750 and now 1,050 for the same 3,000 in volume. All right. Now that's just at the tier 1 ranks. Okay. That's these volume amounts you see down here for tier 1. Let's go down to tier 2 now. What happens when you start hitting, okay, Tetons and Himalayas and all those other, second tier ranks, something very interesting starts to happen. Even at the 16 cents a share that we saw in June of 2015, our very first month in business, this nice steady straight line, that means that as the volume goes up, commissions go up right along with it. But as the share prices go up, like 25, 35, 45, you start to see something really cool happen. At 25 cents a share, the line goes from being very straight to there's some areas here where the line flattens out. What does that mean? It means that people are maxing out their earnings. They're earning the maximum end of that comp plan. Let's go back to the chart for a second. Remember here the maximums? Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'd love to earn those maximums. Those are awesome. That's where I want to be. 2,500 in volume getting you $1,500. And by the way, that's just the global override. Nothing we've talked about so far even talks about the generational commission, okay? So this middle part of the chart plus all these simulations that I'm showing you, that's just the global override. But more and more people start maxing out. That's what any flat line here means, that they're maxing out. Good for them. That's awesome, okay? That means that more and more people are hitting those high numbers. Okay, and a little side note, if you want to do the math on this and figure out what does that mean per qualified distributor on your sales team, if you were to take your total volume, let's say it's 5,000, if you're in Tetons, right? 5,000 or 10,000, okay? You take what you're earning, so let's say it's 5,000, right? Divide that by, I don't know, let's pick an average number. I'm not sure what the average distributor would be, right? But let's say they're all qualifying around 80 qualified volume. Maybe they have, some people want a package that generates more, but most people are qualifying around 75 or 80. Well, then divide 5,000, okay, by 80, let's say, or just to keep it conservative, let's divide that by 75, right? So 5,000, sorry, I'm doing it on a calculator off to the side here. That's 66. So let's call it 67 people. I'm going to round up. So it took an average of 67 people to generate that volume, all right? So now let's take 3,000, which is the commission you would earn, 3,000 divided by 67. If you don't trust me, pull out your calculators. Okay, that's basically 44.77. Okay, per person, basically per qualified distributor. That's a big number. Okay, and obviously if you go up in that range, that number gets smaller. But remember, the industry average is nowhere close to that. But you can actually, if you wanted to, you could figure out your per person. Okay, per qualified distributor number. That's why this is so cool and so exciting. So let me show you again what happens at the tier 3 ranks. Now we're talking about, some of our big leaders, all right, which I hope all of you aspire to be. And same thing here. The gold line, 16 cents a share, if we ever end up there again, still goes up nice and high, but we've got everybody now, 25, 35, and 45 cents a share. Everybody's maxing out the comp plan. Everybody's maxing out the range for their rank. So everybody's over here on these maximums. Okay? So you guys are wondering, what does it take for me to earn the high end of this range? Well, it takes a higher share price. And so you guys are wondering, well, then how can I impact share price? You want to know how you can impact share price? Sales. Sales to customers. Okay? Building your sales team with customers and distributors. That's how you increase the share price. And while you're doing it, let's hope that everybody's doing it in Asia and in Latin America and in Canada and someday in Europe. Let's hope that everybody is driving sales, because as they do, the share price is going to go up. All right? That may be more detail than you wanted, but I really wanted it to be clear to everybody what this new chart does and how it explains it and why share price is so important. All right? And then in its future, we'll generate some cool visuals on the generational commission, what happens there. But I really wanted to explain the global override commission and what happens to your qualified volume when you multiply it by share price and what that means for everybody. All right, so get out there, guys. Enjoy building your teams. If you've got any questions as you're building your sales, obviously let us know. Anything we can do to help increase your sales, we want to do. But probably the most important thing is you work and mentor and train your new distributors is explain to them how all this stuff works, especially the comp plans. So go make it a great day. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to y'all soon.